Welcome everyone to the Toure Muhammad show, and get prepared to hear about the greatest story ever told. Right about now, what I'm gonna do is tell you all the things that we're into. Okay, once upon a hurry somewhere in the future, we didn't have to worry if somebody would shoot you. Excellence, yes y'all, we all that. Business, real estate, and actual facts. Actually, that's the tip of it. Financial gifts with it, spiritual advancement. We're here to uplift. We're here to celebrate your success and give it back to everybody and their mama know what to shop at. You like that? I love that. We do too. You can change your condition when you change you. Yeah, so sit back, relax, and let your conscience be free. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce Brother Toure.
I like that.
Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and my sisters. Man, oh man, thank you, sir. I don't know if you could recognize that voice. That was the great Hashim Hakeem.
Ah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's him. That's him. So, yes, brothers and sisters, man, we got another great show for you today. I'm very excited for this conversation because, as you know, we love to talk to shakers and movers, to business owners, to people who are helping to move the needle and create more businesses in our community. And we love to showcase, of course, those businesses. Now, this brother is somebody that you need to have on the team. You need to know what he knows. Right? Our brother is, first of all, he specializes in something that is so critical in our community. He's an intellectual property specialist and a registered patent agent. He's a law school graduate with a concentration in intellectual property. When we talk about from the great entertainers of today, from Samuel Jackson to Will Smith to, Patti LaBelle, we could just go on the line and talk about the revenue generating power of Black intellectuals and entertainers in our community. And oftentimes we don't control that intellectual property. Oftentimes we don't secure our brand. So you have so many stories of athletes and entertainers and the like, business owners who had brand stolen from them or who lost an opportunity to capitalize on their brand. So, man, we got a brother that's gonna share a little bit with you, and then he's gonna tell you about something that he has that you definitely need to have. You see behind me, it's not on there yet, Brother Andre, but it's gonna be on there real soon. You got to have some books in your arsenal. So we're excited, man, to introduce Brother André 2X Dandridge to the Toure Muhammad show. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir. Appreciate it. The opportunity to be here, and I'm so grateful that we communicated and set this up. I'm excited.
Man, so how are you doing?
I'm doing well today. I can't complain. Yes, sir.
Man. Absolutely. So, man, first of all, tell us a little bit about your background, where you're from, and how did you get into this important endeavor of helping people protect their intellectual property?
So, born and raised in Detroit, I went to school to be a doctor. That's what I wanted to be, and I was a medical technologist for over 12 years. Working in the medical laboratory, and then one late night, I was working third shift. I used to work third shift, and I was messing around on the computer, and I took a practice LSAT, and I got 85% on the practice LSAT. And I took it again, and I got 89%. I said, I'm gonna take the real LSAT. So I took the LSAT, and my wife was already an attorney. Right, my wife was already an attorney, so. So I took the LSAT and I scored good enough to get into Michigan State University College of Law. I went there and I was interested in patents because of my science background and intellectual property in general. And that's what I focused on. And and my scientific background took me to the federal patent bar. I took and passed the federal patent bar, and my wife already had a firm when I graduated, so I started working with her, and she was into business formation, nonprofit formation, all types of business law. And then I came in with the intellectual property piece. She was already doing trademarks, but I came in with the trademarks and the patents and a little bit of the copyright, and that was the start of my career. And then I taught at the same law school that I went to in their business clinic, and for a couple years, and then I taught in a college teaching business law courses, corporation, business ethics, those type of things. And then ultimately, I worked in Miami at a CDFI, which is a community development financial institution, writing the projects where I taught the business owners in that community everything I taught the law students and the college students about business formation, intellectual property, and that type of thing. And so now I open my own business during the pandemic, and that's what I'm doing. Yes, sir.
Man, that's absolutely amazing, brother. Um, Now you said that real smooth and humble, like you took the LSAT, the practice LSAT, and got an 89.
Yes, sir.
Were you studying? Were you doing any studying before?
No,
You
sir.
just had to take
That's
it.
what kind of shocked me about it. I was like, okay, well, let me take it again. Maybe it was a fluke, right? So I took it twice, and I did a little bit better. So I'm taking the real one, and that's what started my journey in the law. Like I said, I was going to be a doctor, um, and that's what started my journey there, and
Man,
that is
that's excellent.
where I'm at now.
Man, so talk a little bit about why this is important. Of course, these are two important words, intellectual property. But
Mhm.
it seems as though, especially with this new era that we're in, which is really not a new era anymore, right? We've been in this digital age for 10, 15 years. Um,
I would say
what
that
talk about the importance of this intellectual property?
I think that
Go ahead.
in
I'm
my
sorry.
experience of
I
working.
got a nephew in the background.
That's okay, nephew. Hey, we like the questions that you ask, nephew. We just take that in stride. So as far as the business owners I work with over the years, a lot of times people really they have a passion about what they do. So say I'm a chef, or say I'm a carpenter, right? They're really focused on the service that they provide. But the other things about the business, they don't necessarily get their ducks in a row when it comes to marketing, accounting, um, having the proper licenses and everything set up, right? And definitely not the intellectual property, right? With the branding, if you have a brand and you are doing interstate commerce and you have a logo or a slogan, and you should get a trademark. If you are an inventor, an innovator, and you have something that's non-obvious and novel, then you should file a patent. If you are a author, if you are a musician or a sculptor, and you have an original work of authorship, then you should get a copyright. So those three things make up intellectual property, and these are things that a lot of times that business owners will just overlook. And then, like you said earlier, using some of our artists as examples, they get they get a lot of their hard work and a lot of things that they worked on. They get taken advantage of because other people, right, take advantage and get this intellectual property, kind of like the Juneteenth thing that's been out recently across social media. This guy got the trademark on Juneteenth, and he's not somebody who descends from that um, from that culture at all, but he got the trademark on it, so he's making money off of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very important, brother. Very, very important, and it's not, especially trademarks. It's something to invest in with social media and all. A lot of things happened over the pandemic, right? A lot of businesses were formed like at record numbers from 2020 to 2022. There were record numbers. Um, a lot of businesses were formed because a lot of people said, you know what, I had time to think about it, and I don't want to work for somebody else. And then and they went and they started making money, and they have a logo, but they never got a trademark. You have a brother that there's something in Forbes magazine a couple years ago about he introduced the idea to LeBron James about the barbershop talks, right? And LeBron James said, "Oh no, I'm not interested in that." And then a couple years later, LeBron James came out with the same concept that the brother came out with. But guess what that brother did before LeBron James came up with the concept? He got a trademark on it. So LeBron James had to settle because this brother protected his intellectual property. He got he can't disclose how much money he got, but he got some money for that because he protected his intellectual property. It's very important to protect your intellectual property because you might not be as a sophisticated business owner to understand the value in it, but sophisticated business owners will understand the value in it and can take advantage of your lack of knowledge in that area.
Man, explain the difference, because I mean I love what you're saying. Explain the difference because there's different levels of protection, right? And you can have some intellectual property protected, but you could stop somebody else from using it, and then you couldn't sue somebody and get paid if they use the same intellectual property if you don't go through certain procedures. Is that right?
Right. So if you don't, so for example, for copyright and trademark both, if you don't have a registration, copyright, the right is automatic. So as soon as you write something down, the copyrights, according to the laws in the United States, the federal laws, you immediately have that right. But you cannot sue, right? You can't take somebody to court if you don't have a federal copyright registration. Trademark is different. A trademark, you have to have a trademark registration. Now, you can use it in the industry. You can be using it for years, whatever. But if you don't have a federal trademark registration, it doesn't matter. Somebody can go and register that mark, even if you've been using it. If there's not a registration to make the examiner, the trademark examiner, say that you can't register this, then they can go ahead and register your logo in your industry in your class. So it's definitely important for people who are doing interstate business and they have a logo or slogan or even a
Mm-hmm.
name that makes them distinct in their industry, right? And people can identify that logo with their good, then you're going to want to get a trademark. You're going to want to get a federal trademark. And there are many classes that you can get it in. You can get a trademark in a class of, education or books or clothing, right? But each class is how the federal government makes money. Each class costs $250 right now, and that price changes over time. But right now, it's $250 a class.
Mm-hmm. Man, so obviously, as you're highlighting that, of course, for some people, it's going to be a reminder of the need to take care of their business, and other people may be hearing this for the first time. So, talk a little bit about how you are starting to educate people. You have a new book out, and what led you, because you've been teaching this, you've been telling people about this, you've been helping clients, but what made you decide to write a book now?
Well, you get to a point in your you get to a point in your career where you want to help as many people as you can, right? So somebody suggested it to me. I was writing a book on another subject, and they said, Andre, you help people file trademark applications. Write a book that gives people the basics of filing a trademark application. So that's what I did earlier this year. It's in the form of an ebook. We are in the pre-order phase of the ebook right now, and we're going to officially launch here in a couple of weeks. But the book is Real Bosses Protect and Trademark Their Brand. 7 steps to federal trademark registration. Yep.
Is it 7 easy steps?
And he suggested I use that language, and I said I can't use easy because that would be misleading. It's not easy. Sometimes it's difficult for me, and I've been looking at this stuff for years. So it's not an easy steps, but it's 7 basic steps, right, to give you the general picture of it. Because it can get more complex depending on if you get an office action or not. If it goes straight through, let me just give you some numbers here. Since the pandemic, all right, the total time for filing the trademark has increased from filing to just getting to an examiner, which is the person that looks at it in the government, is going from 10 months on average to 12 months on average, according to the USPTO. Now, the amount of trademark applications filed have increased 27% from 2021 to 2022, and the number of applications awaiting examination in 2020 was like 200,000. In 2022, it's 500,000. So if you are a business owner that is sitting on your logo and you say, "Oh, nobody's going to use this logo," and you live in New York, somebody in Seattle might have the very same logo in your very same industry, and because of this increase in applications, it's more than likely that you may have some type of office action. So office action is what happens when they get your application and there's some reason for them to have hesitation in giving you registration right away. Oh yeah, you got the book. Pull it up, brother. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
there it is right there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's it. So
So
that really, with this increased application, it's been more pressure on the United States Patent and Trademark Office because they haven't necessarily increased their staff size, but the volume of work has increased. You see, from 200,000 to 500,000. That's a lot of work for them to do. So now they're taking their time, and examination is becoming more and more tedious and difficult because they'd rather not let bad trademarks be registered. They'd rather take their time and kind of filter and make sure that the best marks are getting through. So again, it's in your best interest to if you have that logo, if you have that brand, because that's what everybody was talking about the last 2 years. I'm a brand boss. My brand is booming. Okay, if you have a brand and you don't have a federal trademark, you might be doing yourself a disservice.
right, man. This is such an important conversation. So you go through the basic steps, not simple, but not easy, but some basic steps to protect your brand.
Right.
Do you talk to clients at all about we do logos, right? We help people create logos. And one thing we try to do is to really ask a bunch of questions to really understand the client, their vision, their purpose, their mission, and even sometimes take something that's very personal to them, right? And make that a part of the logo. Like a couple of times we've used a silhouette of a person when they were 20 years ago, right? Because this symbolized something about their business. You do talk about if you can about how people are using these cookie cutter logo templates, and does that cause some challenges if they're trying to trademark their brand?
It definitely will cause a issue because if this is what I suggest everybody should do, right? Anybody who wants to get a logo, if you're filing a federal trademark, the steps are you first do a search, right, to make sure that the logo is available. But even as a business owner, even if you don't hire somebody to do it, before you approve that logo, I would suggest you simply go on Google. Some people don't take advantage of Google. Go on Google, type in the name of your logo, André Blueberry Shoes, right? Type it in, and then go to images and look at the images and see if any of those images are similar to your image, right? So similar that you like, oh, this is kind of too similar. You might want to make some changes to your logo, because if it's actually registered, you're gonna have some problems down the line.
Yep, absolutely. And and it can be, I've done a little bit in the comedy world, and sometimes comedians could be on different parts of the planet or the country, but have a similar experience and come up with a similar joke. And so I've seen that with people's logos, especially if you know you, you got something and you want to create an image of a black woman with an afro. Okay, it's going to be similar. That might be
Yes,
very
sir.
similar to a lot of other logos that's out there.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so that's incredible. So what about, can you talk a little bit, if this is this might be a little off subject, but it's something I'm trying to learn more about.
Mhm.
NFTs, and how does that
Uh,
connect with intellectual property?
Okay, so let's think about it like this. NFTs, this is my basic. I have a very, okay, listen everybody. That's man. I have a very basic understanding of this. But if it's artwork, right? If it's artwork, for example, I remember they had these monkeys or something like that. They were a big deal,
Right,
right?
right.
As soon as you put it in a medium, even if the medium is digital, right? You can get copyright protection, right? So you can copyright your art. You can copyright your song. So NFTs, because they are, I know that Wu Tang was talking about doing some songs or something like that as NFTs,
Hmm.
and some of the artwork of their album covers and that type of thing, turning them into NFTs. If you're doing that, the intellectual property that would protect that, generally speaking, would be a copyright, because it's art, and it's in a media.
Gotcha. Okay.
It will be considered an original work of authorship, um, and it's in a medium which is digital, and that's how you would protect that, generally speaking.
Hmm. So give us an idea of time frame, time and money, right? Let's say I purchase your book and I read it, and I'm like, man, brother Andre, I see all the steps need to be done, but I don't want to do this myself, right?
Mhm.
And you pay someone like you to do it. What kind of time frame is it? And how much does it cost?
So generally speaking, if you engage somebody to help you file a trademark application, you have to have a conversation between you and that person, which could take a day or two, right? So that they understand what your logo or your trademark or service mark is specifically, and then how long you've been using it, and in what industry, what part of the industry or what class you want to get your trademark protection in. So that may take a couple of days. And then to actually file the application, then you do the search, right? So if the search is not complex and it's not turning up anything, it doesn't take much time at all. But sometimes searches can be complex because they turn up things that could interfere with the registration of your trademark or service mark.
Hmm.
So generally speaking, maybe about a week or two, about 2 weeks is what I usually tell people, to actually go from engagement to actually filing the application, and then once it's out of the preparer's hands and into the USPTO, that's where some of these other numbers come up that I was talking with you about a little bit earlier, and that it takes 12 months to get to a it takes about 12 months to get to a final event, which is a notice of allowance, which is an abandonment or registration. So it can take about 12 months as long as you don't get into the office actions. Okay. It can take 6 months to 12 months as long
Gotcha.
as you don't get the office actions. As far as the price for me to prepare it today, sometimes prices go up, but today is $997 plus the fee that the USPTO charges. right? So it's $250 a
Right.
class.
Yes, sir.
And I would say that I always tell business owners to get the trademark in the class that you use it in the most. Not the class you want to use it in tomorrow, but where you're actually using it right now, get it in that class. Sometimes people say I want 4 and 5 classes. Well, that's going to increase my price. That's my price. $9.97 is for one class, one class. I'm not going to say
Mm-hmm.
more than that. But if we start going 2, 3, 4 classes, then the price goes up because that's more work. More work on my part.
Man, beautiful. Man, it's definitely this is very enlightening. It's important to have this conversation. When I saw that you had produced this book, I wanted to make sure that we could share with our audience this information, because I know a lot of us are not doing it, right? Because from the conversations I've had with folks over the years, so I know we're not doing it, but it's something that we do need to do. We have so much valuable intellectual property, and we have so many stories of it being swindled, and or we squandered it, or just different ways that we have let our intellectual property be taken from us. So man, we appreciate what you're doing. And so tell people, what is the website? I can put the website link up here.
Yeah, please put it up there. And I also want to say, when you get this book, when you buy the book, you get 2 free ebooks that come along with it, and then you get access to more information. You get access to how to file a LLC, LLC operating templates, and I have 2 mini courses in there. One is actually a trademark application mini course where I go through step by step and kind of show you what you need to do on a trademark application. And another one is business loan mini course and what business financing mini course, where I take you through a loan application and help
Mm-hmm.
you actually navigate that. Because of my work in CDFIs, community development financial institutions, I learned that a lot of businesses don't have access to capital, and that's because of the business owner's credit. And so I talk a little bit about business credit as well. So when you go on there to get that book, it's a lot of value in there for you on this website. So take a look at it. And I came up with this to help the people that I love, the people that I went to school for, and use all my skills and talents to elevate the community that's loved me so much and that I love so much, that has helped me get to this point.
Man, and so if someone doesn't have the money to pay right now, then they can go on there and learn about that business credit
Mm-hmm.
and get some business credit so they can pay for it to protect their brand.
And actually, the mini course, the trademark application mini course, like I said, I go through an application and kind of, it's the book, of course, is basic, but when you see it on video, right, I'm actually going through it and showing you, okay, here you do this, here you do that, and this is how you do this, and this is how you do that. So if you want more and you can't necessarily engage me or somebody else at the time, the mini course is cheaper than my fee. So.
Okay, man. Well, hopefully it's as simple as you explained it. But you went through the LSAT pretty fast, so we all know we some of us are a lot slower than that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I'm not the fastest either, brother. So that might have just been a lucky situation. Just the mighty God guide me so I can get to and serve my people in a better way. So.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. Now we appreciate that, and I'm sure because you've done some instruction, you've taught law, so I'm sure it's there and accessible for anybody that wants to take the time to do it. And man, we appreciate this opportunity to talk to you again, like I said earlier, and we're encouraging folks, man, get to the website. You see it. I got to put these on and off now, brother Andre. Since it's pandemic.
Yes, sir. I got mine here too. I just haven't had to read nothing yet. So
right. Hey, about a year and a half ago, I called iPhone. I called AT&T. I'm like, man, what's wrong with my phone, man? It's starting to look blurry. What's these iPhones? They should be breaking this fast on me.
Yes,
she said, sir, increase your phone and see if that works.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So is there anything else you want to add before we close out?
I just want to say that, I appreciate the opportunity to talk to your audience, and I appreciate the invitation. And I guarantee that if you take a look at the information that's provided in this book and the free gifts that you get with it, you will definitely find value in it. If you're a business owner, somebody who's actually in business, or somebody who plans on going into business, I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into coming up with this information. So I made it for the underdog so that we can grow and develop as a community.
Man, absolutely, man. We applaud you and encourage you to keep going and sharing what you know and helping to empower our community.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother.
Man, for sure. All right, brothers and sisters, that's another show. I encourage you, man, to share, man, tell a friend about Brother Andre's new book that you all need to do. If you're trying to boss up, if you're trying to protect your brand, and you're doing all kind of stuff on social media, showing how you bossing up, make sure you're protecting what you're bossing up. Get this book by Brother André 2X Dandridge.
Appreciate you, sir.
All right, appreciate you.
Greetings. My name is Toure Muhammad, the founder of Bean Soup Media. We are a content and digital marketing strategy company that empowers the brands of small businesses. We are a passionate team of designers, writers, photographers, and most importantly, problem solvers. And we come together to help you tell your story.
Brother Toure, you shared a post about our business a few years ago. It's reached almost 50,000 people within about 30 days. Brother Toure, through yourself, we have had so much media coverage, newspapers. We're talking about the Channel 7, Channel 9. You have brought so much attention to Sean Michelle's homemade ice cream, and I will never stop supporting Bean Soup Times and Black Chicago Eats. And I wish that others will also take a closer look what you have to offer, because we have benefited. Just take a look at Sean Michelle's. Take a look down the street. See the line for the next block. That's as a direct result of the social media that you posted. That's as a direct result of the live testimonies that you've done at Sean Michelle's. That's as a direct result of the writings that you've written up on Sean Michelle's homemade ice cream. And so God has really blessed you first to have a love for our community, to have a love for black businesses, and one for your brother, which you want for yourself.
In the building with us is Brother Toure Muhammad. He is the marketing genius behind Sissy's Taco. But Toure has been one of the pioneers in marketing, black marketing in Chicago. He did the, was it Black, not Black Chicago, Taste of Black Chicago. Doing it like the real, for y'all real marketers out there, bring us the food in the morning. I'm telling you. And then I just had some gummies too. Oh, my cousin.
And they warm.
I'm selling, you got the studio all smelling up. Brown paper bags. Toure Muhammad, you see him, check out Bean Soup Times. Check him out, all of his clients. Also, let me tell you what, he also represents Sean Michelle, right? So check him out. Ooh. He's also, man, I know they let me tell you what, shout out to Sean Michelle. You know I'm an ice cream connoisseur. Mm-hmm. So I love their ice cream, but boy, that line, good Lord, you got to park and wait and sit there and it be like down the block. Shout out to, and he also is a writer over at The Final Call, right? So Brother Toure Muhammad, extensive history, doing it like the marketing directors. We need to get you a gym shoe contract next, so you can bring the gym shoes in too. But I'm gonna tell y'all what, Sissy's Taco Bar doing their thing, popping up on a Friday. We're gonna be smashing these on air. Toure, thank you so much, my brother.
You guys, Brown Sugar Bakery has been using Bean Soup Times since 2009. We established our Facebook page 11 years ago. Look at that. We've grown as a company, and with Bean Soup Times, it's always been looking out for us and enticing all of you. I love you, Toure, for enticing my wonderful customers that are both Facebook fans and Instagram fans. I highly recommend Bean Soup Times, especially if you're brand new to social media or relatively new to social media, because Toure will make sure that he kindly and patiently walks you through getting up to speed online.